Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Pulled up on my phone, so I don't know.
Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Well, we might run into some technical difficulties here. Not sure yet. Alright, looks like it's slow on my end. Let me jump on my phone. Come on, phone, work with me. Pull up my YouTube and figure out if I can hear me. Alright, it looks like I can hear me. Boom, we're golden. I'm gonna give it a minute. Let a couple more people. Whoa, hearing myself delayed is screwing me up. We're gonna give it a couple more minutes. Figure out if some more people are gonna jump in, and then go from there. Chat, let me know that you're here. Drop your Instagram handle down below. Disconnected. I just don't know how to see who's viewing. I haven't done a YouTube live before. And what you might hear in the background is my radio. Let me get that on right. It's still up, so I don't know what's going on. And then let's go over here. Jump on Instagram. And something's going on. Boom. There we go. Go live. This is what we're looking for. Bear with me. Thank you for the patience. This was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Let's just see if I can charge it on here. Boom. Don't trust it. Cancel. All we care about is charging. Maybe if I get rid of the top chat portion, I'll actually be able to see what people are saying. Nope, none of that's easy. Alright, well, we're just gonna deal with it as is. Yeah, I know. Alright, and it looks like I'm live on both Instagram and YouTube. Alright, let's change this to live chat. Slow mode's on. Alright, so we're going to go over what's going on Sloan. I'm on YouTube and Instagram today. People on Instagram, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up, give me something. Have you connected to my headphones, that way it's not just the phone audio. What we're going to be doing is going over the different OSINT things. Also, let me know if the video is okay, because I can always restart this. Boom, Sloan, I love it. Nordic Outdoorsman, love it. What's up, guys? So we're going to be going over some OSINT stuff, some radio stuff, and then a giveaway towards it. Pretty much all right. Nice. So that's what we're going to be doing. It's 6:05. We're going to give it another minute. Let the people join in. I know it's 6 o'clock here. If you're in the chat, drop your time zone right now. Let me know what time it is for you, because I know I got people all over the country following me, so I want to see if this was a decent enough time or if there's a better time to do this. Also, not sponsored, and I know you can't see it because it's blurred. Liquid Death, that's the drink of the show right now. This one is Mango Chainsaw, and I've got Dr. Death, Dr. Doom. It's their Dr. Pepper remake in the fridge, and it is outstanding. 9:05 p.m., Mr. Nice. Jesus criminy. All right. Let's wave to the people on Instagram. They don't get to see my face. So OSINT, first things first. I've done a couple live streams over the last week or so, and the topic of people OSINT came up. People OSINT is doable, right? Like, you can still find people, you can still look people up, you can still do all of that fun stuff. The issue is, it's a lot more difficult. So, in my last few videos, I've talked about people being a commodity, right? Everything's free. Instagram's free, YouTube's free, all these things are free. But you don't really get to see in the back end what's being used or how you're being used. The good thing that has come from OSINT being more publicized, I'll call it, you have people that work for Facebook, that work for Meta, that work for all of these different companies, seeing how this information can be used to stalk people, to find people, to do anything in that, in that realm, good or bad. And they said, whoa, we got to stop this, right? So I think the first thing they did was they took away the ability to look up people by phone number on Facebook. And then from there, it was, okay, we can still look up by email. Not a big deal. Well, then they took away the ability to look up by email. So now you had nothing to actually look at, right? You had nothing to look for. Well, what you can do now is upload your contacts. Throw out your contacts to Facebook, to Instagram, to Meta, to everybody. Just give them all your contacts. And from there, we'll tell you who's on. Well, in an OSINT sense, right, I don't want my information, I don't want Proto's information uploaded to that database and then find out who I know. Because I'm not going to have contacts in my burner phone for friends and family. The burner phone isn't going to have any contacts. It might have one or two if it's an investigation, right? But in the grand scheme of things, there's going to be no contacts. So uploading anything isn't going to help. Once you've uploaded that information and there's an application, I can't think of the name now, but there's an application that it was blocking spam callers. And so what would happen is you would upload your entire contact list into this application from your phone, and then it would say, cool, we now have this database of legitimate phone numbers. If something's not from a legitimate phone number, we can block it. Well, now you're giving away all of this information. So the phone OSINT kind of ramped up. Right now I can look at more people from their phone numbers, but I still can't find them on the social media side. Take off my glasses, that way I can not be blinded by looking at the close-up things. Should the average user get a burner phone? Can I... Let's see. No, I don't want to put you in timeout. I gotta figure out how people, like, put these questions on screen. So I'll get to that in just a second. I'm getting sidetracked here. So you upload all that fun stuff to that application, and from there, that company then sells all that data. So that was kind of the start of people becoming commodities, was people realizing, okay, I want my information private. I don't want Facebook, whatever, to be able to sell or show people that data. to show people my phone number, show people all that fun stuff. But I'm going to let this app do it because I didn't read their terms of service. Going forward from there, even I'll say further, right? You have an issue with now all of this stuff being sold. There became a time where we were paying for services, and that was it. Now, there was some data collection on the back end, but it wasn't as heavy as it is today. And now we've gone from paying for the services to not paying for anything in terms of money, but we're giving away our data. We're giving away our information. We're giving away our lives to these companies, just to be able to use their product for free and not thinking of the repercussions on the back end. Evan, the question is, should the average user or OSINT practitioner get a burner phone? I say it depends. Way back when, I did a video. I don't even think it was a video. I think it was a one of my OSINT or OSHIT videos, podcast things about burner phones. The thing with a burner phone is 9 times out of 10, you're not using it like a burner. You don't get it like a burner. And either way, it's going to come back to you unless you adhere to a strict policy. So, long answer is yes. I do think people should have a burner phone. I keep looking outside. I have my UHF VHF antenna up, but no sandbags, and I'm realizing that the wind's starting to pick up. So I'm just going to wait and see if it drops. I do think you should have a burner phone. Everybody should. The issue is when it comes to burner phones, nobody follows that policy. Nobody follows that policy of, okay, I'm only going to use this miles away from my home. I am not going to connect to my home internet. I'm not going to set it up at my house. I'm going to keep it in a Faraday bag when I'm by my house or in my general living area. And once you start using it, you really have to be cautious of how you're using it. It's not to contact friends or family, unless, I'll say, caveat, unless that's what you're using it for, right? Unless it's that, get out of Dodge, I have this phone, and it has 3 numbers in it, right? Mom, dad, wife, father, son, bro, whatever, you have in there, it has those numbers, and those are the only people you'd contact. I'll do a quick little sidebar on why that's important. So when you're using a burner phone, and I'll say for an investigative side, if I can equate the pattern of life of that phone to your personal pattern of life, I can at least say with relative confidence you were using that phone. I can't say that it was always in your possession. I can't say that you were always the one using it, but I can say that this fits the pattern of life. My favorite question to ask whenever there was a burner phone brought up in an investigation was, okay, well, I see that you use your phone to contact this phone number, and that's your wife. Okay, well, this phone was contacting this phone number. Oh, and that's your wife as well. Okay, so you weren't using this other phone. Oh, your brother had it. Well, your brother was contacting your wife quite a bit. Well, what's going on there? Those are the type of things that it was fun to bring up because you could see the flustered portions come up. But to get back to that initial question, the average user should have a burner phone, but again, only use it for that. I'm looking over at the Instagram side. Nepatali dude. Yes, I am streaming on YouTube as well. I don't know how to get the Instagram and YouTube to be on the same streaming thing. This was a very last minute deal. But yes, I am on YouTube, and the link for the YouTube should be in my stories if you're on Instagram. So if you want to hop over to the YouTube side, go ahead. Any other questions on burner phones before I jump over to another portion of OSINT? Take my little water break. You're welcome. Jump on over. There's a cool little graphic and stuff that you can see, and you see my blurred face. I really want to know how you put those the little... I don't know how I put all that stuff on there. That'd be cool. Specific type or brand of phone. So, I'll say... I will say this. When we're talking about burner phones, we can get really nerdy. So you can get super nerdy into this in a couple different things. What area are you in, and what cell towers are near you? Oh, that's why it won't let me connect over here. So if you're in certain parts of the country, Verizon has a better cell service. AT&T has better cell service. All that fun stuff. So when you're picking a phone, you're kind of looking at, I'll say first off is the area, right? What area are you in? What coverage do you have? What's the best coverage for that area? Second, do you want to go with a name brand? Do you want to go with a track phone? Do you want to go with some other random brand? And I'll say that's all going to be price related. So you have your area, you have your price, and then kind of attached to the price is what you want it to do. Do you want to be able to check PGP email? Do you want to be able to just send calls and texts and you're fine with a little flip phone? All those things are kind of what you should be looking at when you're looking for a burner phone, not just, okay, I'm just going to go to Walmart and get this phone. Because that's the other thing. How are you paying for the phone? And I'm pretty sure I go over this in that video or podcast, whatever it was whatever I called it way back when. But with burner phones, you really have to be, I'll say, decisive in how you want to, in what you want, and also very focused on how you're going to get it. Because again, the whole thing for the burner phone is you don't want it tracked back to you. I picked up my burner phone. Picked up a burner phone during the COVID times. I was wearing a mask. I used cash, and it was just a regular track phone, and I actually didn't get a data plan there. I picked it up at a different location. So kind of taking that same idea from Walter White in that you don't buy everything in the same spot, you piecemeal it. If you don't piecemeal it, then you're going to draw suspicion. Oh, Instagram just went down. Literally. I have to plug in the phone. So the phone fell. There we go. Now it's charging. So is that kind of answer your question? It's not necessarily a yes or no in terms of what you're wanting, or in terms of type of brand, but more of what you're looking to get out of it. The Walter method, man, that's where it's at. Anytime you're buying something sketchy, you never buy everything in the same spot. What other questions we got? I'm here. The wife's gone. She's out doing stuff, so I figured this is perfect time for me to do a live stream and mess around with radio stuff. I've got my dipole set up. Um, it's actually an NVIS setup, and then some other things out there as well. But yes, hit me with the questions. I'm always down to answer them. I feel like I have to scroll too. I feel like I should have music in the background. I bet you I can. I know I can, actually. Criminy. This is terrifying. My whatever this is just started talking. If there's no questions about that, then we'll kind of move on. I don't know what the deal is with my radio setup right now, but it's not liking it. Uh, it's on packet. It's on the correct frequency. I don't know. Currently in IR, looking to pivot to pen test anything. Oh man, you're throwing things at me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just smacked the microphone. Ah, I see. So you're asking the wrong person. Uh, to a degree. I think depending on where you're at in your education, right? Start off in kind of where you want to go. So when I was looking at transitioning out of my current position and my current job into more of pen testing stuff, I contacted a couple companies and was like, "Hey, listen, here's what I got going on. Um, here's my resume. Here's what I've done. Um, Granted, I don't have schooling, right? All of my schooling is either self-taught or through different courses that aren't, through a .edu. Um, so what can I do? And their big thing was make sure you have the three, your A plus network, and oh man, there was one more, and no, I'm blanking out. The essentially the first three certs that you can get through Cisco. They wanted me to go through there. Um, Now, depending on your background, you might be able to skip those. You might already have those. Um, I think from everything that I've been told, the best place to start is, again, kind of that job search. Put feelers out there, see what people are looking for, because if everybody's got the practical network pen testing stuff and nobody's actually looking for it, you can see, oh, they want this other cert. Well, let me go snag that other cert really quick. Snag that. Now you can apply with that. Um, it kind of varies, man. I think, man. I don't know. Keyshawn Kulu, I would assume you're a dude. I can get in trouble for that though, but I'm gonna assume you're a dude, especially based off the picture. It looks like you're kind of flexing in your profile photo there. Uh, Yeah, sorry, that's a crappy answer, dude. Not the person to ask about it. Check out Axon. Check out some of the war driving dudes that are on Instagram, and then also Shelator. There's another one too. Um, can't think of his name now. It's gonna bug me. But yeah, hopefully that somewhat answers your question. I don't think it does, but I can at least point you to some people who might know some things. If you're on Instagram, shoot me a DM. Uh, if you're on Instagram, shoot me a DM, and I'll send you some usernames for people you should reach out to, see what they know, see what they think. and not Axon, the technology company. It's a person. It's a The A is actually a 4, so pretty elite there. Looks like we got three to six people in here. I don't know, any other questions? Throw them out at me. I'm I'm looking at the monitor to see why I'm not able to connect to some things. Also might be just this build. This build sucks. And T on Instagram. What is up, my guy? I'm over here on Instagram and YouTube doing a dual live stream. So if you have questions, throw them out there. Because if not, I'll move on to the one other radio thing. Or no, not a radio. The one other OSINT thing. Looks like nothing. And if something does come in, then I will transition over and talk about that. So one of the last things on OSINT, and it's going to be the kind of culmination video between the last 3 that I've done. Everything from video 1, 2, and 3 on this OSINT series has been very bare bones basic. And I tried to figure out how I was going to name it. I didn't know if I was going to name it OSINT. I didn't know what I was going to name it because there was OSINT involved, but that wasn't my intention. My intention was to provide knowledge on how to protect yourselves, clear your information, and kind of show everybody that was watching how difficult it can be to find somebody, but also how easy it can be once you guys start searching yourselves. So this last video is going to be a quick brief overview, like 1 slide a piece. And then from there, it's going to be what you should do going forward. And the little sneak peek that I'll give you guys is something's going on with this radio. It's bugging me because it's just making noises. One of the things that I really want to kind of harp on, and not necessarily harp on, but drive home, is the fact that you're going to have to do the self OSINT regularly. You're going to have to look at yourself online and see what you're showing, see if you've sold data to somebody else, and kind of see what else is needed in the back end on how you can better protect yourself. There really isn't going to be much after that in terms of that series. That series is just going to be a 4-video series. I'll probably end up linking them all together and throwing them up on Buy Me a Coffee. That way they're all there. Shameless plug. If you're not subscribed on Buy Me a Coffee, it's $1. The donation helps a lot. Makes stuff like this doable. But going forward, for the next series, I am kind of open for suggestion, I'll call it. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be on. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. But I will take a bunch of suggestions. It'll probably be another month before I get to do the next series. I'd like to do some research and kind of take into consideration everybody else's ideas and thoughts, and then go from there. Um, I do know one thing is going to be documentation, and not documentation in terms of like OSINT stuff, but creating notes, creating um, ways to contain your information, and I'll say keep it private. Um, but keep it from prying eyes is probably a better idea, or better verbiage. One thing that I did pick up recently, and these are all old, let's see, where's my camera? Old new stock of floppy disks. I had some left over from a father-in-law, from my father-in-law, um, and then I also picked some up a little bit ago, and just had them in a box. Picked up the floppy disk reader and figured why not store some information on there. Um, Partially for fun, right? But also, nobody has a floppy disk reader. So if I hide that somewhere, right? Now, granted, the deterioration on that could be pretty heavy, but I can now use that um, to hide some specific information or some private information. The other thing is PGP. You know, keeping your notes in PGP form. Um, PGP is not as widely used as it should be. Um, the small group that I have, when we communicate, I'll say 2 out of 10 messages are in clear text, in terms of email, especially email. Um, those are the very basic, hey, here's a thing that I wanted you guys to know or have or see or whatever. It's not anything that I want that I wouldn't mind the news posting, right? But when it comes to our plans, outings, frequency information, things like that, that's all on PGP. None of that is going through the clear. Um, we don't want Big Brother, as dystopian as it sounds, right? You don't want Google reading everything and collecting all that information on you. None of it's bad, right? It's frequency information for a camping trip. It is a topographical map of where we're going to be. And it's in a national forest, so it's not like it's a private land. It's all public. Um, but the whole point is it's something that you can control. And so what I really want the focus of that video to be is taking control of your privacy, of your information, of your data, and making sure you have it properly secured going forward. So I'll go over a few ways in that. I'll go over some fun ways, some secret squirrel ways, but also some legitimate ways. Both for Android and iPhone. Granted, Androids have essentially become iPhones. Um, Back in the day, you could have an Android that had a SD card reader, and you could pop in and out SD cards for different things, and it was great. You can't do that now. You can, and I'll show you, but pretty much every Android is just an iPhone that has a different operating system and is actually just a little bit less secure. Evan, is Proton Mail pretty secure? Signal 2 for messaging. Digital footprint is probably horrible. Everybody's digital footprint is horrible. Everybody, you can't not have a digital footprint. There's a guy I know who doesn't have any social media. Blows my mind. Because he's like I think he's like 23. So it just blows my mind that he doesn't have any social media. But again, just like the video that I posted, his family has his digital footprint for him. Minute Pirate, what's up on Instagram? I'm also live on YouTube, so if you jump over there, you can see the cool graphic in my blurred out face. Proton Mail is secure. Somebody said Signal crashed for them today. Um, the issue I have, so Signal is good in terms of privacy. Um, the the information that uh, government agencies get back from Signal is pretty null. Um, During my child crime days, doing investigations there, um, I did a WhatsApp warrant, and I got back 3 pages. One was first page was WhatsApp saying this is who we are, this is our contact information, here's what you requested, and this is what is contained in this folder. And then the next one, and it was electronic, but 3 papers is all it was. So you had that first PDF. Second PDF was the first phone number's messages, and the third PDF was the second phone number's messages. And those were blank pages. The only text on there was the phone number. So WhatsApp actually has very good end-to-end encryption in terms of what you can get. Proton Mail is secure. I still say use that PGP key. I've gone over how to make one. I've gone over how to do it. I think a couple times. So check out those videos. Make that PGP key. It's easy. It's simple. It's simple to share. Android is where it's at in terms of PGP. Canine Mail, that's where it's at for an email form for PGP encryption. iPhone, I have not found another application. There was one application, and I think it was just the letter I and then PGP. It was the best PGP application I have found. I could import keys, I could export keys. I didn't need to do anything special. I could type out a message, press encrypt for these people with a drop down or checkboxes, copy it, paste it, boom, gone, on my way. Now there's nothing, and let me rephrase that. There isn't nothing, right? There are applications for PGP on an iPhone. None of them are good. I have bought 2 of them. I've tried almost all of the free ones. I think I have tried all of the free ones. None of them allow you to import keys easily. You have to copy and paste, and on an iPhone, that's not easy at all, especially when the format on the actual screen is all wonky, even when you turn it to landscape mode. The other ones that I looked at, it wouldn't let you import your private key. You had to create a new one. Let's see, what else? Drafting messages were terrible, so I was able to, I did the work, copy and pasted my code. But, I mean, copying messages was horrible. It kept, I'll say, copying half, but not the entire thing. You couldn't just share, like a lot of messages or a lot of applications just have that share button, and then you can press copy and it copies that whole thing. Didn't have that. It was just a text field that you had to try and highlight, and hopefully you didn't close the app, hopefully you didn't click out. Those were kind of the issues with that. I like Canine Mail, and Android also has OpenPGP, which is super easy to just bring all the keys in. So there's that. I was talking about security, privacy. Here is the little... Oh, do I not have it? Oh, it's in my other backpack. Son of a biscuit. Well, I can give you a little teaser. Stand by while I try and open this fucking thing. That's partially why I'm not monetized on here. One, I don't have enough views because I don't use this enough. Two, I say bad words, and YouTube doesn't like when you say bad words. So, this little... Oh, where's my camera? This little blurred blob that you see, right? This is tin number 2 of 4. I have the original. This tin is for somebody else. And then I have 2 more tins currently. My whole goal right now, Bass Outdoor, I love you too. My whole goal for 2025, granted we're almost halfway done, so I really should get into gear, is giving you Citizen 2084 or Project 2084. It took a little bit of time to figure out how I was going to do this, some of the legalities on it, and I am still looking at one thing to make sure I can legally do this, but this will be a privacy tin. It won't have any Faraday stuff because that's way too expensive, and I'd like to, I'll say selfishly, make a tiny bit of a profit off of this. There's one that I am giving away, technically actually 2 that I'm giving away, but this will have some tools in it, digital tools, to keep yourself secure and to make sure that you have some tools at the ready to use wherever you're at, so long as you have a laptop or sometimes even a phone. And that's partially why it's taken a bit, and some of the things have changed because we went from having 2 different USB plugs to now pretty much everything's on USB-C, so I now have to switch over and do USB-C stuff. But that is my little teaser. The Buy Me a Coffee people, at the end of this week, there will be a subscription portion that opens up, and it's a whole $2 a month, and that is going to help fund getting this. My 3D printer is out of whack. I am working too much, and I have too much stuff going on, so some of these, instead of being able to 3D print what I need, I'm going to, I'll say, outsource the 3D printing, but I also still need to get some other material for it. When will it be available? I am hoping that I can have this available at least the first 5. So not mine, but the first 5 to be able to sell. I'm hoping to have it before Black Friday. I don't know how long it will take to get some of the things that I want. I have to reach out to a couple of local people around me and see how much they want to price gouge me on printing a piece that only takes 30 minutes with an Ender 3 with terrible settings. But I'm going for November of this year before Black Friday. It will be limited. I'm not sure how many of these I'll make, and there will be, I'll say, 2 options. There might only be 1 option, depending on the legal side of it and what I have to double check. But the goal is to have this ready to go for you to use with information on how to update what I give you inside of this. I want you to be able to have, and I created this for myself, so we'll tangent before I jump over to the radio stuff, because this isn't the giveaway. Um, I created this for myself, honestly, because I was bored, and I was like, huh, this would be cool to do, be cool to have. This would be useful for me to use. I use it, honestly, more than I thought I would, and not for the reasons I thought I would. But I use it quite a bit, actually. Oh, sorry for the mic smack. And then I had a couple of people ask about it. And I had another person who's way more influential in this sphere than I am ask about it and wanted to try it. So that's why they are getting number 2. And kind of from there, a couple other people had asked about it, and then I created that video for Citizen 2084 and Project 2084. And then I think last month or the month before, I realized that I wanted to get back into using it and kind of going forward with it, just because it's a good product. And I can't even say it's a product. It's a good idea. I like the idea. Anybody can do this, but I'll say I want to be able to at least provide you guys with something from my ramblings and somewhat knowledge that I have. I'll take 2 questions on it. I won't give away what it is aside from that it's a metal tin. But if you have questions, I'll try and answer 2 of them without giving away what is so special about it. And now we wait. The tension is killing me. I wish this would show me who's on, because I don't even know how many views I currently have. Is it USB-based storage? So there is obviously USB stuff involved. Part of it's storage, but that is not the main use of it. Can be used as storage though. Add a stream marker. Engage with my audience. What's this button do? Price. That is a good question. That I'm still working on because some things have changed in terms of what I'm going to be using to have a housing. It can be the main housing can be 3D printed, but that might have to be changed, which I can do the modeling for that, depending on what USBs I choose to use. And then the other portion of it is going to be just the actual cost of the USBs and shipping. I think I don't have my sticky notes. I used to have a row of sticky notes on my desk shelf here. I think I had it at $30. Yeah, hit that like button. Somebody said hit that like button. Do that thing. I think when I had initially tested it or I'll say price checked it, it was around $30. Which again, I am cheap. I am a cheap motherfucker. I don't want to buy something that's super expensive. I'll say I don't want to. I do it all the time, but I don't want to. The last major purchase, technological major purchase, that I don't even use because it got all wonky and I had troubles figuring it out was this guy here. This is the War Driving Kit by oh dear lord, by Agent. It's the War Driving Kit. Um, I couldn't get it to work. I'm dumber than a box of rocks at times. But I did create this cool little terrorist-looking box that has some wires and antennas that had the War Driving Kit and a mesh tactic device in it. So that was cool. Um, but yeah, I wanted it to be. I tangent a lot, and this headache doesn't help. I wanted it to be relatively cheap, but also had to be realistic about the cost. Evan, I'm glad you're excited, and Bass Outdoor. I appreciate that, man. Um, if you are following me on Instagram, shoot me a message. And nope, I don't want to put you in timeout. I just want to click out. There we go. Um, there's a bunch of options when you click on somebody's name. You can put somebody in timeout. Um, shoot me a message on Instagram, and we'll get talking and see where you're at and things like that. Um, but I appreciate it. Any other questions before we jump on radio stuff, and then my actual giveaway. I really need to figure out how to put music in the background. But I also choose like the worst music for my videos, I feel. Like that is by far the hardest part. Uh yeah, see it's the same thing. It's the hardest part about my videos is choosing the music to play in the background that isn't too upbeat but also isn't too slow. Let's see. I've seen someone on Instagram. I can't remember his name, but he used the Zen container store mesh. That is. Oh my good lord! Now I can't think of the name. Why? Wild Off Grid. So I know who you're talking about. Um, he's done a few of them actually. So he has a Zen. He has an On. There's a couple cool containers that he has for it. But if there's no other questions for that, let's talk about some radio stuff right quick. Um, what I have been doing is messing around, obviously, with my radio stuff, ham radio, things like that. Yes, he makes the planners. Oh, um, now I have to look it up. Um, Mad Gear Company. That's who does it. I'm going to throw that in the chat. Mad Gear Company is the person that does that stuff. Check that out. But yes, so ham radio stuff. So as most people on my page know, I do ham radio things. Um, I have been messing with ham radio for a couple years now. I finally got my general this past year, and actually I'm coming up on the year of having my general now that I think about it. What I have figured out is not only are there OSINT things to do with, well, OSINT things to do with ham radio. The pathetic, the pathetic pentetta. The pathetic pen tester. Thanks for joining. They left because I made fun of their names. So ham radio stuff has a lot of OSINT involved in terms of just the bare basics of what OSINT is, right? Open source information. Um, Open source information techniques is the T in that, right? There's so many things that you can find about a person from their ham radio stuff and from the different things that they have to do with the government Same thing with FFLs, same thing with drone operators. All of these people that have some type of licensure, right? So much in terms of uh, open source information can be found. That's partially why I don't have my ham radio stuff out and about on the page. I don't show you things. I don't show you my call sign, things like that. Um, I've been out and about with people, and I've been in other videos uh, with other people. I've seen myself in the background at some of the ham conventions. Um, but what I have found is ways that you can privately share information. And that is one big reason why I like ham radio stuff. I can connect to a person down in Tucson, and this was an exercise that I did. There's a person down in Tucson. I connected with them via HF peer-to-peer connection on WinLink, and we were able to send messages back and forth without anybody in the middle. Could those be intercepted? Yes, they could, but you'd have to. There's some work involved in it, right? I've looked into that. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. So there's quite a bit of information that you have to know and have to be able to decode those messages and kind of intercept them. The other thing too is just the actual private communications, right? So I can use a handy talkie, an HT, to talk to somebody over a simplex frequency. And as you saw with the Tech Preppers video, I don't know, probably about a month or so ago about direction finding, it's really hard to direction find. It's really, really hard. But it's doable. However, you have a static target, I'll call it, but if you have moving targets, it makes it way more difficult. So even though you might share some information, so long as you're keeping it short, sweet, and to the point, and you can even use directional antennas and use different CTSS codes to really dial in that privacy. The other thing is using Motorola. I have a Motorola XTS 2500. It has a AES. AES? Yeah, I think. It's got the AES keys on it, to where you can share those keys and talk between the two, and if you don't have the key, you can't listen. So there are ways to do private things on ham radio. I'll shamelessly throw out the Tech Prepper here. I use his MCOM Tools platform. I love it. There's nothing like it. It is the best thing since sliced bread in my mind. The dude is super smart, super cool, super friendly, and very, very down to earth. So if you're not following him, follow him. If you want to know more about ham radio stuff, follow him. There's the Ham Nerd. There's so many other people that do ham radio stuff, to where I don't really talk about it because there's other places that you'll be able to see stuff. The other portion of ham radio that I've gotten back into is the note taking, and so what you see me waving around on screen as my little notebook. I stole this idea from the Tech Prepper because he has one, and I literally watched his video, wrote down all of the tabs that he had, and said, okay, do I need any of those? And if I do, what information was on those? And so I just went through that video where he showed his, and it was 2 seconds of it being on screen, and I created this. If you aren't using, and this is A5 paper, if you aren't using a Pilot Precise V5, you're doing it wrong. These are the best pens in the world. So not sponsored, not nothing. Those are just the best pens. I love them. I have both the click and the cap. Evan, he's helped me with so much stuff. I I'll say I wouldn't be where I am in terms of my ham radio stuff and my knowledge on ham radio without him. Dude is super smart, super nice, super friendly. I truly can't talk better about this guy. Um, Aside from asking me what my call sign is, any questions on ham radio stuff? Questions on this notebook? I have no problems talking about this notebook. It's so weird talking to people but not seeing them. Like it's the waiting period is killing me. I hate these awkward silences. I also don't know how much of a delay there is because I feel like there's at least a solid 10-second delay on my video on the screen versus what you guys might be seeing. And we're at an hour, so if there are no questions, I'll just jump over to the giveaway. Let's do a poll. Oh golly. Starting a poll in the chat. Let's see how this works. What tabs did he have open? You mentioned. Do you have a mobile rig setup? So, Bass. It wasn't. So, tabs isn't the best word. I call them tabs. So, there's a whole table of contents. And in it, it's set up very precisely. I mean, boom, 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 boom. Like that's the information. So I have an about page, which is just literally about it. And it has, if I leave this out in the desert somewhere, who they can get it back to. It has a comm schedule, so kind of the group that I have, what their schedule is for checking comms. It has some other notes on the HF channels, some of our more private channel information. It has my contacts information, so the different people that are in the group, it has their name and call sign. It has the different repeaters, and then it has information on JS8, the different nets, how to send messages, relay messages. It talks about the BBS that Tech Prepper has, and then it has information on WinLink, so the gateways that are in my area, um, how to get weather, things like that. And then because I am a ham radio guy, I have my little contact page at the end, just in case I decide to go out and do any type of contacts. What I am adding in terms of a tab is a land navigation and medical page. Not page, but section. So I have, I'm an EMT, so I have that medical knowledge. And then I wrote up a small, like 7-page section for land navigation and how to use a compass, how to use a grid square, and things like that. Let's see, do I have a mobile rig? I do. So I have a DB25 that I posted forever ago when I got that. I don't use it for DMR. For whatever reason, DMR kind of sucks out here, so I don't use it. I just use it for the UHF VHF function, and it has APRS, which is cool. So if I'm ever out and about, I can use it. Yeah, doing land nav stuff is and was more difficult than I thought it would be, but not doing it all the time, having those little notes are super helpful. Just be like, oh, how do I do this one thing? Oh, let me turn to that page. Okay, that's how I do it. It's created for me. I don't have intentions on selling it or posting it or doing anything like that. It's just solely my notes and my information. And yeah, the mobile rig, it's a 20-watt mini. I think it's more expensive than it should be, but because it's DMR, yeah, you're paying a little bit more. What do I use for notes? It depends. On my phone, I just use the Notes app. On my computer, so I have a Windows computer. Um, on the computer, I just use Notepad. And then, like I said, anything important, I'll encrypt with the PGP. And then for handwriting, I have a couple different things. I am a notebook junkie, but I don't write in my notebooks as much as I should. I end up just taking the notes on my phone. So I'm literally looking at 5 different notebooks that I have right now, and one of them is consistently used. One of them I write love letters to the wife in, and I tear it out and I put it into a little envelope for her. The other one's for all the medical training that I do, and then my traveler's journal is a mixture of things. So I take notes. I'm a journal junkie. I'm terrible at this. I just I take I like journals, and so I take it and oh cool. I now have a journal that I can write in, and then I don't write in it. Tombix, what is up? And yeah, it's good to go out and practice with friends. I just picked up another tent, or not another. I picked up another tent. Not like I have a bunch, but I picked up a tent for me. That way I can go out and not have a 5-pound tent on my back. No, I have so many pens. I have so many notebooks. I am sticking to one brand though now in terms of pens. I went from Zebra pens, and then I went to the Sharpie pens, and I was doing the Sharpie pens for a while. I went from the .7 down to the .5, and then my buddy was gifted a $300 titanium pen, and I was like, wow, this writes amazing. And the guy that gifted it to him was like, yeah, it's a $3 insert. And I was like, cool, I'm just going to buy that pen and not spend $300 on a pen body because I really don't care. The other thing that I do have, though, is a fountain pen. I do like those. It's a little mini one, so those are fun to use. I just like the way it writes. Notebooks and backpacks. You guys are my people. I have a closet full of backpacks. I've got 2 backpacks underneath the desk right now. I've got the mini pack that has all my radio stuff in. Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm in Arizona. Great state, the best state. Can't tell me otherwise. All right, we're at just over an hour and 8 minutes. Any other questions? I'll take 2 more questions. Granted, there's like 2 or 3 of you here. So 1 question each, I guess. And then we'll go over the giveaway. I'll give it a minute for the chat to come through if you are writing a question. Let's do this. Do you have Discord? Yeah, California. That sucks. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Do I have a Discord? I do have Discord. You can find me on Discord. Let's see if I'm up on there. I'm always terrified of throwing things on the screen and not knowing if you guys can see it. Last thing I want to do is a little bit of doxing of myself. Guess I can do it side by side. Let's see. This is... Nah, disable that. I'm going to go and switch to my other profile. Let's see. How do I copy? How do I copy my thing? Oh. I don't know how to copy my username. There we go. Copy user ID. Boom. Paste without formatting. That's not what I wanted. Let's see. Don't care about pronouns. Just want to know username. There we go. Found it. Boom. The .protovoid is my Discord username. You can add me on there. Yeah, the little community is nice. It's difficult to find. Mr. Nice, thank you for sticking around for the rambling. Yeah, I don't know. I can tell you my wife is tired of me wanting to buy backpacks and notebooks and pens. So I just buy those when she's not around. And then she's like, "Where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "I've had it. What are you talking about?" And then she doesn't question it. I think she doesn't question it because she buys so many books that it's. I don't question where she gets the books. But yes, it is nice. It's difficult. Check out the different discords that are out there. I'm on a lot of them. Um, I've thought about starting up a Discord that will be a look at that. Who's this? So I got a friend request from somebody. Who's is Dex on here? I should probably pull this back up. Is Dex on here at all? I'll still add people, but I'm just curious. I also don't know how to do. Here we go. Yeah. No, there we go. Evan. It was Evan that sent me the message. I don't know how to use Discord. Yes, I'd like to do more lives. My schedule will be changing, so it'll probably be. I will probably do them on Mondays or Tuesdays. I haven't decided yet, but it'll probably be around this time. So yeah, if you have any questions, any thoughts, any whatever, shoot me a message on Discord, Instagram. And then the final thing is going to be this giveaway. So I don't know when it will be here because I ordered it. I think I ordered it this morning. Yeah, I ordered it this morning. The giveaway will be for the Buy Me a Coffee people. The Pocket Stingray Finder that's been going around on Instagram and YouTube and some of the other communities. I picked up 2 of the devices. I will flash them, and I will keep one, and I will give the other away. I will, again, hopefully get it this week. But I will do the actual giveaway probably the end of next month. And like I said, that'll be for the Buy Me a Coffee people. This week I'm opening up the actual membership options, not just a supporter, but the actual membership. With that, I'm going to try and find a moderator for Discord, and then hopefully get a Discord going. Haven't decided on that yet, though, because that's just a lot of work, and I don't feel like dealing with it, because I'm not on there all the time. So, that will be the giveaway. I will ship it anywhere continental U.S. If somebody from the other side of the ocean ends up winning, we'll figure it out. They might have to split shipping with me on that, 'cause depending on how much shipping will be. But that will be all set up, ready for them to go, and that will be the giveaway. And with that will come a sticker. Stickers come in this week. Those will be on sale for probably $3. I have to see. It's either $3 or $5. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to ship those or do the order forms. So if you do any of this stuff, let me know. I got to figure this shit out. Because now I've started to do the things that I said I was going to do, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So with that, I'll take any last questions, and then I'm going to bounce out and try and figure out what the fuck is wrong with my radio. Message me on Discord, message me on Instagram, like this video, share it. I'm going to keep this video. I'll post it up today for people to watch, and then like I said, I'll probably do the next live, probably do it once a month, because this actually was kind of fun now that I have an idea of what I'm doing. So thank you for being the guinea pigs on this. I'm going to end the Discord one. Discard that video. Anytime, Evan. I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. I need a catchphrase, I feel like. But, bye. No, that's not how you should end it. I feel like there's a better way to end it. But I don't know. Everyone have a great evening.
Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Next time, next video, next place.
Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions.